get into your book that you're going to do, Running Captive, or before we get into your essays, to your essay about Miriam Preshnik, well, let's say, like there's something that we did during our course. We talked about writing as a place of thought and reflection of self-experience and none of these things. And I found it really interesting that every person that I spoke to, when they read their own production materials, actually had that realization. How do you think that process actually works? And how do you make people keen on doing so? Trying to engage in self-reflection in that way.
Well, I think the first thing that I've always worked with students, mostly at the college and university level, is that we need to get over the idea that first you have your thoughts and then you write them down. Writing is not just recording what you already think. Writing is part of the thought process. It's active. It's in some senses, and this is, a technical thing, I didn't come up with this. It's an externalization of the mind. And if you wait to think about what you think or what you feel and then try and write it accurately, it's sort of a sterile process. It doesn't produce anything. But the act of writing is an exploration. It's part of thinking. And it doesn't mean that it all happens on the page. It's that it's an interactive, what you're thinking when you're not writing and what you're writing, when you're writing it down, how that's part of your process of thinking and feeling. And I think anybody who has written deeply, even somebody who just is a very serious journal writer, which I've never been, I always wanted to be, but I never really succeeded in doing this, knows that you think differently and you feel differently after you process something in writing because it's part of your thinking. When I was writing my novel, I went through all kinds of emotional phases, and I reconsidered a lot of beliefs that I had because the novel is dealing with those, and I was working them out. And my spouse would notice that something was changing. Like, what have you been writing about this week? Because I would be in a different mood or I would be responding to things differently. So that's when I teach it, I ask people to reflect not just on what they've written, but what happened in the process, in the experience of writing, and to take that seriously and to be more conscious of it, because I think that produces more provocative material. And I think you learn more. You don't learn and then write. Writing is part of learning, just like it's part of thinking.
Yes, I do remember when we started our writing course, you